Shalom. First, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone, and I want to say Shalom to the elect. This is a quick lesson. I'm at work, so if there's any interruptions, it's because someone has walked in to the area where I'm at. But I've come to a closed-off area, and hopefully I won't be disturbed through the spirit of Yahweh Shai, Lord willing. So this is the first scripture, 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 2. Now it says, "As newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby." Now, I wanted to read the scripture first because when this is mainly for men in this knowledge, and also coming into the understanding of this knowledge, hearing about Israel and truth and so on and so forth. I've been, in Yahushua for 4 years, coming up to 4 years, I'd say, in the winter, and I'm a babe, and there's my level, the level of what I know is very, very little, but it's very basic, and that's fine because every man has their portion of what they're given, and the main thing is to be in Yahushua, for the Lord to be dealing with you and for you to grow, man. Now this scripture says, "As newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby." Now the reason I brought that up is because the scriptures also say that knowledge puffeth up. So as you start to find out, you might find out certain breakdowns and certain things, but you don't want to fall into the trap of thinking that you are more than you are. And I got a couple of scriptures I've written down as well. We're going to get all up into those scriptures and see what the Bible has to say, what Yahweh Shai has to say about that, all that, man. So it says, "As newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby." So what you should be desiring as a newborn babe, someone that has come into the truth, is to basically drink the milk scriptures, such as only Israel can be saved, whose salvation is for, the appearance of the Lord. Now these things are actually deep. They're deep to the masses out in the world that can't see it, but they're seen as the milk, the foundation within this word, man. Because once you have a strong foundation, then you're not going to be able to be moved, and your foundation has to be strong in who? In Yahushua. Okay, which is the word, man. Now it says that ye may grow thereby. Now when a baby drinks milk, okay, that's a newborn baby will drink milk to grow, man, before that baby can start eating hard foods, man. Okay. Now let me bring to Hebrews chapter 5, verse 13. It says, Hebrews 5 and 13. Actually, I'm going to start from 12. For when for the time ye ought to be teachers, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build up so we can be teachers, right? So we can teach other men and gather in the elect. It says, "Ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God, and have become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat." Because if you come up in this thing in an unbalanced way, you're trying to start eating meat before you can have that milk. There's a chance you're gonna start vomiting that stuff up, man. Okay, because you don't know how to handle that. Okay. And there's a lot of examples of guys out there who might have been in this for a couple of years, and then they suddenly think that they're on the level of the apostles. Well, I've got some news for you. You ain't ever going to be on the level of the apostles, man. Okay. Those great men are who they are, and they're lots because of the different things that they've been put through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. Okay. And you ain't gonna be able to do something outside of your lot, whatever your lot is given. If your lot was given to come into this thing at the very end, that was your lot. If your lot was to come into this knowledge in 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and that was the lot. And that's why the Lord has an order, man, that has already been set up in the heavens, man. It's set up before time, man. Okay. Now it goes on to say, for everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. So the one example of that is, if you, what you know, right, what you've learned, the milk scriptures, the foundation is what we know. So for example, I'm going to give you an example. Now we know that Yahushua from the, would be seen today as a so-called black man, what you'd call a so-called black man, okay, because he was from the tribe of Judah, which are the so-called Negroes, okay. Now that is something that you'd have to have a foundation in, because the whole world believes that, they believe in that image, they're bound down to that image of Cesare, that the devil was put up there, man, okay. But for you to know that, that's a foundation in truth, and that's something that and you hold steadfast to that. So if someone comes up and tries to say to you, oh, well, it was a white man, or it doesn't matter what it was, but it does matter because it's in the scriptures and it gives a record, okay. And if you read John 7:38, if you believe in the Lord as the scripture have said, then out of your belly shall flow rivers of living water, and that's talking about the belly of your mind, okay. Now, so it says, for everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. So what you don't want to do is, you don't want to talk about things you don't know, or things you don't fully understand, because then you're going to start falling into traps and you're going to start going off, because you're unskillful still in the word of righteousness. That's why, we got to stick to the milk, because, like I explained at the start of the video, I've only been in this coming up to 4 years. I stick to the basics, and the basics are really, that's what, that's where the basics is really what you need, man. All the deeper things, that's for certain men that are on a high level to be able to deal with that, man, okay. Because with the knowledge, you also got to deal with the experience, okay. And it's going to go on to explain that. It says, but strong meat, right, those deeper revelations, those deep understandings of the scriptures, those deep waters, it says, belongeth to them that are of full age. For example, the example that we have today of men that are of full age are the apostles, man, and our elders, man, okay. It says, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. So those men, those are apostles and elders, they've been exercised through different spiritual happenings and spiritual things that they've gone through in their time in this truth, which has exercised them to be able to discern both good and evil, for them to be on that high level, okay. But you got guys that are coming up, thinking that they're on the level of the apostles, but they ain't been through shit. The Lord ain't dealing with them on that level. The Lord's dealing with the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone, man, okay. And they basically break this down into little bite-sized pieces, and and they feed us, man. They feed the rest of the flock. And then what do we do in turn? It says, freely receive, freely give. So what we receive, and we hold fast what we understand, and when we get built up to be teachers, then we go out and do what? We go on the highways and byways and we teach others, man, so they can come in as newborn babes. This is Proverbs chapter 4 verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting get understanding. So you might get something. Now here's an example. You might hear a wisdom. So a man who's been through a certain thing might tell you a certain thing, to deal with something, and you might get that wisdom, which is great. But then it says, with all thy getting get understanding. And how are you going to get understanding on something? By first of all really meditating on that thing, and also through experience, okay. If you read in the scriptures that the Son of Man had nowhere to lay his head, and you read that you're going to be like a pilgrim on earth. Now you might read that and be like, okay, but then when you actually you have to sleep rough, you might be homeless for a little while, or you got to sleep on the train or whatever. When you go through certain experiences, then that's when you truly understand that. Now, me personally, I'm doing this lesson. I haven't been through that, so then can I truly understand that go by having not gone through it? I would say no. That's something that the Lord will put certain men through, and certain men won't go through it. You know, we all got to go through the different things that we got to do. That's because the Lord is growing us, man, in our own ways, man. Okay, but although we're coming up in diverse ways, we're all the ways that we're coming up are all one in Yahweh Shai. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, which is good. You know how to be, and the understandings. But it says, with all thy getting, get understanding, man. You know. Now I'm gonna get. So you might hear certain things. You might think, okay, now that I know this and I've heard this, you might think you understand it. You might think you're on a certain level. But here's the error of the way, man. Now it says 1 Corinthians chapter 8 verse 1. Now as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth. And if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing yet as he ought to know. Right? So you might think that you got a bit of knowledge now, you've been in this truth for a little while, and you suddenly think you're on some kind of level. But you don't know nothing as you ought to know. So the things that you know, it's like, why are you getting so excited about it? In fact, you know what? I was going to bring the scripture out later, but I've just got to go to it quickly now, man. This is 1 Corinthians 4 and 6. And these things, brethren, I have in a figure transferred to myself and to Apollos for your sakes, that ye might learn in us not to think of men above that which is written, that no one of you be puffed up for one against another. Okay? So you might get some understanding or knowledge on certain thing, and you might have a brother that don't know that certain thing, right? So you getting puffed up against that brother. That's not how it works, man. Okay, that's off. What you want to be doing is, you want to be what? Being charitable by doing what? By you said freely receive, freely give. So you would build that brother up with that knowledge, man, and share it, man. You know, if he's ready to receive it. It says, for who maketh thee to differ from one another, right? And what hast thou that thou didst not receive? What kind of knowledge do you have that you didn't receive it from Yahweh Shemel Shai? It says, now if thou did receive it, which we did, right? Why dost thou glory as if thou hadst not received it? Like as if you just came up with this on your own. You got your own breakdowns, your own understanding. No, because what? The breakdowns were what? Given to who? The great men. Yahweh Shemel Shai is dealing with his with the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone, man. They're the top prophets. And that knowledge is given to them, and they're given out to who? The rest of the men. Okay, that are ready to receive it, man. In fact, you know what? This is... Let me clear that up right now. This is John chapter 3 verse 27. John answered and said, a man can receive nothing except to be given to him from heaven. So you can, you know, do everything you want to, you can try and do, but you're always just going to fulfill what? The lot that you were given. You're gonna end up knowing what you know from what was given to you from heaven, man. You know? So you're trying, like, one thing is, and I'm guilty of this. I'll say that first, because, you know, I'm seeking my salvation. That you know, you want to know, you'll want to hear a deep thing or know a deep thing, but that sometimes that deep thing, you ain't ready to hear that deep thing. Neither are you going to really understand it. You're trying to understand the deeper things, like, you know, but hold on a second, do you even understand the so-called basic things, the milk? Because if you don't understand that, if you don't understand 1 + 1 = 2, then how are you going to hear that 10 + 10 = 20? How are you going to understand that with that extra 0 added on? How are you going to understand that when you can't understand the basic of 1 + 1 = 2? And then it goes deeper. It goes 1 × 1 = 1. You know, now you got multiplications, and then you got divisions, then you got long division. See, then it gets into deeper levels, and the men that are able to understand that are the men that are, you know, those deeper mathematical algorithms are the ones that have received it from Yahweh Shemel Shai, and then to be on that level, man. You know, and it's funny because I was meditating on this. Maths. I gave an example using maths, and maths actually comes from the word amath, which means is the Hebrew word for truth. So let me go back to, in fact, let me get to, you know what? Let me get, where's Philippians? Philippians. Philippians 2 verse 3. Philippians chapter 2 verse 3. Let nothing be done through strife or vain glory, because it's a vain glory. If you ain't that and you're trying to be that, then you're gonna get found out very quickly, man. You know, you gotta, wherever you are, whatever level you at, that's the level you're at, and that's what it is, man. You got a desire to what? To grow by the sincere milk of the work, man. Obviously, we all want to grow, we want to learn, but everyone has their time, and everyone has different experiences you go through, and the different things that are revealed to you, and for you, and you got to be able to receive that things, and the Lord's got to also put a spirit on you to hold those things. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind. Let each esteem other better than themselves. This is Proverbs chapter 11 verse 2. When pride cometh, because, you know, knowledge puffeth up, right? So you get certain, you might hear a thing, a deep thing, right? And you suddenly, you know, pride comes, because, oh, I know this, okay? But when you don't even know it. It says, when pride cometh, then cometh shame. Because you might be put in a situation where you're going to be put to an open shame over it, man. And it says, but with the lowly is wisdom. So what is that? What is the scriptures telling you there? Telling us to be what? To always be humble and always have a mind of coming from an angle of lowliness, man. Because we're nothing. We're just vessels. Whatever we're saying, whatever we're coming out with, the spirit of Yahweh Shemi Shai that is speaking through us, man. So what glory do we have? No glory, man. It's the glory that we have is a vain glory. Okay, we're going to be glorified in what, right? When Yahweh Shemi Shai, when Yahweh Shai returns with them chariots, okay, we're going to partake in that glory, man. Okay, the glory that was bestowed by Yahweh, man. I'm going to read that again. When pride cometh, then cometh shame. But with the lowly is wisdom. What is, you know what, let me get that. What does Matthew chapter 5 verse, one of my favorite scriptures, okay? What does Matthew chapter 5 verse 5 say? Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. And that word meek basically means humble, man. Okay? I'm not trying to get puffed up. I'm not trying to be part of that whole pride that let him get, because pride was not made for man. That's what the scriptures say. First Peter chapter 5 verse 5. Likewise ye younger, and this is to the younger man such as myself and brothers that are in that same category, okay? It says submit yourselves unto the elder, because the men that are more have been in this thing for longer, they've had their senses exercised, those are the men that are going to be able to guide you through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemi Shai, man. Okay, those going to put the spirit on certain men to be able to basically watch over the flock, man. Okay, that's why. But ultimately, the Lord's got to give it to you first, man. You know, it says, likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For God resisteth the proud, and giveth grace to the humble. So if you're getting proud, and you know, you're trying to grow, but you're proud, the Lord's gonna resist that, man. The Lord ain't dealing with that. The Lord is dealing with the humble. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. So Yahweh Shemi Shai will, when whatever your lot is, whatever your time is, the Lord's going to show that, man. And ultimately, when the Lord comes to change us and we become we have the laws in our minds, pursuant to Hebrew chapter 8, when we are partakers of that glory of Yahweh Shai, then you know we're gonna be put up and exalted, man. And hey, the name of Yahweh Shemi Shai is going to be exalted, man. In the earth, man. Everyone's going to know it, man. That's why we come out and we exalt the name, man. Okay, because ultimately everything is through Yahweh Shemi Shai, man. Yeah. Anyway, you know, I think I'll hit the point, man. But yeah, it's just very easy to fall into that trap. You know, I'm personally, I see you go through certain things and you do certain videos. I personally wanted to make this video because Spirit was on me. I was thinking about it, like things that I've personally done and ways that I've thought, and you know, you can go around and say, you know, yeah, I'm keeping it simple and the milk and this and that, but then you're going to be put through certain situations where your integrity is going to be tested, man. And you know, and you're gonna fail, you know, because we ain't perfect, man. Okay, we're gonna flop because we ain't, you know, the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak. So, but what you got to do, that keeps you humble, that keeps you that keeps that pride away, you know, and you'll grow in to grow in humility is better, because scriptures say, the greater thou art, the more thou humble thyself, you know. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna end it there, you know, with all, you know, again, I want to give all praise to Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom.